Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and also welcome back to my old setup. So if you were not subscribed when I first started my channel, you wouldn't know that this is where my original setup was. This is my room back at home. I am back home for the holidays. I did get COVID tested, by the way. Today I wanted to film a kind of try on of my Sephora makeup. I've been using this and I've had this for a while. I was just waiting for some things to come in because the second half of my Sephora purchase took a while to get in, and then when I got it on the week before I came home, and it was just way too busy to film. And I also just had a few things at home that I ordered here related to Sephora haul, kind of. So it was all a mess, so this is a little bit late, but I have been using almost all of these items for a while, so I do have a lot of thoughts on them. I did post a Sephora haul before this, which is the look. This is the look that I am wearing in that video, if that makes sense. But if you want to see everything that I got, check out that video. But this is just going to be a select few items from this bag. I will also feature a few other things in my collection because I didn't get a full face of makeup. So I'm just going to get into it. I did not use my curling iron, but again, I will have a code down below if you're interested in getting that. My hair is still wet and it's still a mess, so ignore that. But I don't have any foundations, so I think I'm going to go in with my Bite Beauty foundation. I used my Rare Beauty one in my last sort of makeup video, and these are my two favorite foundations, so I figured now I would show you the Bite one. And then I think I will also use the Kosas Revealer Concealer, just because I already used my Rare Beauty one, and then the other concealer I have is not available at Sephora. So whole bunch of talking today, let's just get into the makeup. So I would put on my lip balm, but I literally have no idea where it is. But anyways, let's put on some foundation. I have the shade L20. This is such a good foundation because it's not too dewy, it's not too matte, and it doesn't dry my skin out, yet it doesn't like make me need to powder a whole ton. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that on my Fenty 115 foundation brush. This is the foundation brush I use with all of my tinted moisturizer type of things, and I'm just gonna apply this. This foundation made me realize that if Samantha Ravindal recommends a foundation, I will buy it, because this and the Rare Beauty ones are my holy grails, and those are the two foundations that she really raved about before they came out. So just gonna apply a little bit of that. As you can see, it's not like foundation coverage, and it doesn't have as much coverage as the Rare Beauty one, but it has a little bit more coverage than, say, like the ColourPop foundation. So this is just one layer of the foundation. It looks really nice and it blends in super easily. I'm going to turn the lighting down just a little bit, but it doesn't require that much blending. I can kind of swipe it around my face and then pat it in to kind of make sure there's no streaks. And I find this, compared to the ColourPop one, it is pretty similar to the ColourPop one, but I think this one has slightly more coverage because with the ColourPop one I usually have to build it up a little bit, and it also blends a lot easier. I noticed with the ColourPop one, when I would swipe it on my face, it would look so streaky and I would have to go over it a lot, whereas this one I don't have to. So this one is definitely a holy grail of mine. That's the foundation. I don't think I'm going to build it up anymore because I think I'm just going to apply some concealer on my cheeks to cover up some redness. I also love filming at home because I get my little cats. So my cat is sitting right behind the camera, just staring and sleeping. So next I'm going to take the Kosas concealer. I use the shade 2, and I'm going to apply a little bit on my under eyes, and then just like swipe on my cheeks. Now I need to try this concealer out more. When I first tried it, I liked it, but I wasn't super impressed, I guess. Like, it was good, but not holy grail. And now I just feel like something is off about it. I feel like sometimes it looks bad on my skin, like it could emphasize something. I don't know what it is, but I'm just gonna try it. I'm using the Rare Beauty concealer brush, which I have been loving for all my concealers. And also I applied way too much concealer, but we'll fix it. But yeah, I don't know. This concealer looks super good, especially on like Amanda Z. Whenever I watch her videos and I watch her apply it, it looks so hydrated and flawless, hydrating and flawless on her under eye. And I think, I don't know, maybe it's because they use a sponge. I know Kyla really likes this too. Maybe it's the sponge, maybe it's not having drier skin, because I think both of them have like combo dry, but I don't know. So I'm just blending the cheek concealer out with my foundation brush and also going onto my under eyes to kind of get rid of some. And like, the coverage is really nice. I just feel like it kind of sits a little weirdly. But I don't know, you can't really tell, but I feel like it kind of collects on my skin and it looks like I need to exfoliate, which I don't get with my other concealers. So I don't know, it's the same thing I had with the foundation. So I'm not sure. Maybe I just need to try it with the sponge, but to be honest, I don't like doing my makeup with the sponge. That is the concealer. Obviously my eyes are really red, and I will apply a little bit of that, but I don't want to apply too much because it can sometimes mess up the eyeshadow. But like, you can't see it on the camera, just in person it looks so heavy and like I need to exfoliate, and it just doesn't look good on my face. I don't know. This isn't a review on that concealer because I didn't buy that during the Sephora sale. I just thought I would throw that out there. So I'm just going over top with the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. That's the concealer and the foundation. I think now I didn't buy any cream or powder bronzers. I'm going to use my Fenty cream bronzer. Just because, again, it's available at Sephora. And this is just what I normally do. I just apply a little bit before I do the rest of my makeup. So I have the shade Butter Biscuit on an e.l.f. Buffing Ultimate Blending Brush. And just apply a little bit on my cheekbones. I find that with creams and just with bronzer in general, I really like it better when I apply it higher on my cheekbone, almost where you would apply blush. Because I find when you apply it lower, it just drags your face down, and especially with a cream, it ends up blending a lot lower than you would expect. So I just apply a little bit higher. I apply a little bit on my forehead. Okay, so that's just a little bit of the bronzer. It all will end up coming together, and I'm sorry my hair is not pulled back. I left all of my headbands and clips at my dorm. I have two new blushes. I have a creamy powder and a normal powder. So I have the MAC Glow Play in So Natural, and then I have the Hourglass blush in Sublime Flush. I did buy this before Hourglass came out with their terrible shade range in that new cream palette. I'm going to go ahead and use the Hourglass blush just because this is what I purchased in the Sephora sale itself. But if you want to see the MAC blush, just let me know. So I'm just going to go ahead and set my foundation and my under eye with a little bit of the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder, and I will be right back. Okay, so I patted my face. My cat is back there, so I did pull out the candle. But yeah, I patted my face, and now I think I'm going to actually go in with the highlighter first because I wear a lot, not a lot, but I do wear blush every day, so I can kind of get away with a lot of different highlighter shades because I find it blends into your blush. But I figured this might show you the highlighter a little bit better. So this is the Hourglass Hollywood Superstar Glow Highlighter. This is one of my favorite purchases in a while just because I wasn't really into highlighter and I liked my new Rare Beauty one, but now ever since I've gotten this, I've worn this every time I wear my makeup, which prior I would not wear highlighter every time I wore my makeup. So I'm just going to use a little bit of, what am I saying? I'm going to use my Real Techniques setting brush and just go in right there. Also, I know this lighting is not the best. I am still figuring this out because I have a window on the right of me. There it goes. Window on the right of me, but I don't have a good background on that wall. So during the day, it's kind of weird. So maybe I'll have to get a light for over here. Maybe I'll have to fix my background. I don't know. But this is the highlight. Just look at that glossy glow. And like, you can tell I've already used a lot of this. Like, this is expensive, yes, but I'm telling you, this is one of my favorite purchases in my collection. Like, there is no other category of my collection where I'm only using this one product forever. Like, I don't even want to buy other highlights because I just want to use this. And I don't know, if you knew me before, I would always say that highlighter is the most useless part of makeup and it's kind of dying. So I kind of applied a lot for the camera, but I don't think it's too dark on me. Like, okay, when I look straight forward, I did apply a lot. So let me blend it out a little bit. Yes, you can see it a little bit, but I'm telling you, when I wear blush and also when you don't apply as much as I did, because I applied a lot, you cannot see it on your face at all. I don't know how to show you guys with good lighting because if I open my window, it looks bad. But I'm telling y'all, this highlighter is so good. The formula is so creamy. I prefer this over my creams. This highlighter is so good, y'all. So I am in love with that. So now I'm going to take my Hourglass Sublime Flush Blush, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of that on my cheeks. This is a sheerer blush, but it's just a really pretty peachy pink. It's, okay, so it's like a, you cannot see. It has lavender and peach running through it. It's like a peach with a lavender running through it. I think it looks a little bit pinkier, but a lot of people say it looks peach on them. I think it's a peach, but the lavender does give it a little bit of pink. So it's not a bright pink like compared to my Patrick Ta She's That Girl or like Fenty Petal Poppin'. It isn't this bright pink. It looks like it'd be the same, but this is a lot brighter of a pink, whereas this one is, it's a peachy pink is the only way I can describe it. It's not an orangey pink or orangey peach, it's a pinky pink. What am I saying? English, what? It's not an orangey peach. It's a pinky peach. Sorry, I don't know how to speak. So this is what it looks like. I think it looks like a really pretty pink color, and it's easy to build up, but it's not too pigmented right out of the gate. And I think sometimes people complain that Hourglass products are a little bit powdery because they are so sheer and they have that highlighter in them, but I think because this is all colorful base, it does feel chalky when you swatch it, but I honestly feel like a lot of baked cheek products feel that way when you swatch it, just because that's how it is. But I think on the face it doesn't look chalky or dry or anything. So there you can see that the highlighter, it just blends in. Like, okay, I am wearing a lot of blush, I will say that, but it just blends in. I know like Elise on Instagram has the highlighter, and she's a little bit fairer than me. She can wear this, she just can't go in with a heavy hand, otherwise you will see this base color. But again, when you wear blush, you can't tell that much, and I think on my skin tone, I've never been able to notice that this is too dark on me. So I do have more pictures of this on my Instagram. I'm happy to message you about any questions, any swatch comparisons, but this is a glorious product and I love it so much. I also love this blush as well. I don't feel good about Hourglass right now, but I will say that I love their products, and I had already purchased this before their new collection came out, but I do love that color. So enough blabbing, and let's get into the eyeshadow. I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes that I talked about in my haul, but I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette just because I feel like this one is the one with the least amount of reviews, and I have a lot of thoughts on it. Not a lot of thoughts, but just I have thoughts. So let's do my eyeshadow. I'm just going to peel this off because I've been keeping this on for so long. I am going to go in with my Fenty Beauty eye primer. I feel like I could use this up in 2021. As you can see, I'm like doing that to the sides, but I do like this eye primer. I will say that this one is a sticky eye primer, so I do like to set it with a powder all over, just because I find my eyeshadow skills are better when I have a nice clean base underneath. But it is good for creams especially, and that stickiness does help things stick down. And I find when you only apply a little bit, it's not like sticky like a tacky sense, it's just sticky as in when you place an eyeshadow down, it's gonna be placed down on your eye. So if you just set it all over lightly, you'll get rid of that problem, but if you don't set it, you can still easily blend out on top. And this primer is also really good if you have oily eyelids. So I'm just going to set that a little bit with the Matte 3 color. It's just a skin tone color. So as you can see, when it's set, it kind of blends a little bit into my eye. So just to get started about talking this palette, because I feel like there's a lot to say, kind of. If you are looking for a palette that is going to be bam pigment right out of the gate, like a Natasha Denona palette where it's just super saturated color right out of the gate, you don't have to work to build it up. It's just very intense colors. The deep colors are super punchy right out of the gate. But if you're looking for that kind of color pigmentation, I would not get this palette. If you are really good at eyeshadow and you like almost like ABH shadows where they're super powdery and you put it on your eye and like it blends out easily, but it is a lot of color right out of the gate, I don't think you would like this palette. Now, if you do a lot of everyday looks and you are also experimenting with doing eyeshadow, especially with depth, and you are fine with something that is a little bit softer, that you can build up easily, but still blends out really easily, I would recommend this palette. I do, in general, recommend this palette, but I do understand why it gets bad reviews. I don't think it blends out to nothing, but I do think these are more of a sheer opacity, and I think that is really good for someone like me who doesn't want, like, when I go in with these deep colors, I don't want this actual richness on the outer corner of my eye, you know? So I'm gonna start doing my eyeshadow while I talk. I'm gonna use the matte 4 shade on a Jaclyn Hill Morphe JH34. So to me, I really enjoy this palette, and I find it makes doing more, not complicated, but using more depth shades and just doing more with my eyeshadow, this makes it a lot more approachable, and I find it makes my eyeshadow not go over the top, which I find with some palettes, when you start playing with the depth, it's really easy to go over the top, whereas with this, I use these deep shadows, but I can still blend them out and feel comfortable wearing them on an everyday basis, but I still think you could build them up and wear them for like a day night. So I was talking to my friend about this on Instagram. She likes a lot of depth. She basically wears all deep colors, and I don't think she would like this because it's not like you're gonna stick your brush in it, put it on your eye, and then suddenly you're stuck with that color. As you can see, I'm putting this on my eye and it gives a hint of the color, which I think is gorgeous. And of course you could just put more on your brush, but I just think this is very different to most of the shadows on the market that are very much, you put it on your eye and it's there. I think if you are a fan of Khaki Reviews Beauty and you like the makeup that she talks about and the eyeshadow she talks about, where it's not a bunch of opacity right out of the gate and it's a little bit sheerer, so you can still play around with the colors, but it's not going to be super saturated on the eye, I think she would really enjoy this matte palette. But if you're on the opposite side of the spectrum, I'm not sure you wear. And I watched Jackie Aina's review on this just because I was worried that means it wouldn't be good for deeper skin tones, and she did enjoy this. So I think the vibe of this palette is not Instagram makeup. I think this is more makeup you see on models, and this would be a great palette for like bridal makeup because it wouldn't go too intense. So I don't do anything super dramatic with this, but I'm going to take a flat brush from e.l.f. It's the blending brush. This is a really old brush, but it's just flat. And I'm going to go in with, I want to do something kind of simple. I'm going to go in with this bottom shade and just tap that on the outer corner of my eye. So I'll show you. You can obviously see that color there, but it blends out and it's not as pigmented as some of my other palettes. Now, I will say I'm not the best at eyeshadow, so maybe if you are, you might have different opinions on this palette. But me personally, this is how I feel. And like, obviously, like, you can still see that color. I just find that when it blends out, it's not too much. And also, I'm not sure if I've ever even played with this color, so just going in with that. And like, it looks deep and intense, but I find that these shadows are so easy to work with. Just taking my e.l.f. blending brush, fluffy eye blender, and I'm just going to blend that. And like, as you can see, or maybe not because of the lighting, it just blends. It just blends really easily. The color doesn't go away, but it doesn't stay that same opacity. Like, if I go like this over that color, it's obviously gonna blend away a little bit. And also, that shade is a little bit deeper than I normally go. I normally use this third row to deepen it up, but like, in person, it doesn't look like I have a glob of depth on the outer of my eye. It just looks like I have a little bit of darker shadow. And I think the really flattering thing about this palette is all of these shades are shades that you would naturally find on a skin tone. Not necessarily my skin tone, but these are all skin tone shades, which I find also makes the palette just super lovely. So I'm going to go in with that original matte shade and run that on the lower lash line. So I just find the shades of this super flattering. And whenever I wear this palette, I feel like my makeup always just looks like a soft glam or just a more natural makeup, especially because you don't go overboard with this palette, I feel like. And I don't know, I use this palette for a whole makeup basket rotation, and every time I wore it, I just felt like my makeup just looked nice and it didn't look overboard, but I could still have fun with it. And it just looked almost like a soft glam, but not glam, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you can see the eyeshadow that well, but I'm going to go in with this first light shade. It kind of is being washed out. I did post a picture of this on Instagram, and I'm going in with my flat Real Techniques brush, and I'm just popping that on the inner corner just to brighten it up a bit. Julia Adams and Jamie Page, why did I forget her name? They both have videos using this too, but I am happy with this purchase. I am. It's not going to be for everyone, but I'm so happy I have it. I'm going to go in, I think, with an Hourglass Scattered Light, just because I haven't used those on my channel, and these you can find at Sephora. This is the shade Ray, which I think is what I will go in with. It's a more bronzy shade. If you follow State of Kate on Instagram, this is probably on your wish list, but I'm just gonna go ahead and tap that on the inner portion of my eye. You can't even tell on camera how glittery and gorgeous this is on the eyes. Like, that is one of the most gorgeous shadows. It's like a glitter, but it doesn't look thick like a glitter, if that makes sense. I don't know. Just gonna take that on the other eye. Okay, so that's the eyeshadow. I hate my under eyes right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and do mascara and brows, and I will be right back. So this is the makeup, and also changed like the lighting on my phone, and I realize now that this is not the best quality. So I'm gonna try and figure that out while I'm home, but I used my Hourglass at Lash'd and my boy brow, which I don't love boy brow, to be honest, but you know, it's what we're working with. I'm gonna do lips. I'm going to use, okay, in my last video I used the Charlotte Tilbury JK Magic. Why is everything taking so long to come out of my mouth? I used that one, and so now I think I'm going to use Glowing Gen. I do like this lipstick a lot. I think it is a really pretty color. They are expensive, but I do like them. So with this one, I don't like to wear it at full opacity, so I just kind of run it on my lips and then kind of blend it out. I should be using a lip liner, but I kind of just take my finger and blend it around just because I don't want a super deep color. And I do really enjoy this. I think it is a little bit bolder on my skin tone. It is a more deeper rose color, but I find it is really flattering, of course, if I can apply it correctly. That is the final look. So again, I'm so sorry about the lighting of everything. I hope this helps a little bit. There's the single shadow. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys the makeup and natural lighting. I have a bunch of swatch on my arm, but this is what it's looking like. You can see the mess behind me, but hopefully you can see the colors a little bit better. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.